My name is Will Hodgeman. I'm Executive Vice President for Comscore, and I'm responsible for the Asia-Pac region.
Hi, I'm Jean-Michel Wu from WPP. I'm Head of Talent for Asia-Pac.
Well, Jean-Michel, you and I sat through Jason's presentation on talent today, and I'd just like to kind of get your perspective on what do you think? You think most of it was right, or you have a different perspective?
I thought it was very good. I mean, considering that Jason's not from a talent role, but he could have nailed it pretty well, which is all about having to identify the culture of a company, what the tools of recruitment and talent attraction and retaining are only tools rather than just a corporate view. So having to define a really good culture was his sort of main premise of the presentation, and I thought that was well thought of.
You had some, WPP covers so many different kind of agency systems, if you will, Ogilvy, Y&R, JWT, Group M, etc. And
yeah.
You have a very strong perspective about how the culture is different, by operating unit.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. I found that really interesting.
Well, I like to think that all of our agencies try and mirror our clients, and some of our clients are attracted to different agencies. So, by that example, you would think that agencies like clients like Unilever and American Express would be sort of looking for agency staff that mirror their particular clients. Yeah, I think Ogilvy has a good culture that allows them to work with multinational agencies like Unilever and American Express, whereas other agencies like JWT, I think, have a more entrepreneurial drive.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to think that there are separate cultures for different agencies within our group.
Let me ask you about an agency. I was in the agency business for 14 years. So I'm just curious that, from a WPP perspective, what do you think of the other shops? So, how would you define the culture, for instance, of now called FCB Draft, or, underneath Publicis, the Starcom, or what do you think about those? How would you describe their cultures? In the kind of the entrepreneurial versus, more straight-laced kind of perspective.
Well, I think looking at, say, TBWA, that have had a very good client roster of brands that are coming up. I think those previously, say, Apple wasn't a premium #1 brand, and they've been very successful in helping them become the best company in the world. So I think they have to be a lot more entrepreneurial with the kind of culture that they have in that group. So, it does reflect the creative work that they've come out with as well. So, I see them as being good drivers in creativity. I think the Omnicom agencies generally do have a entrepreneurial and creative spirit around the region, in strong places like Australia. But I think I always say it's kind of horses for courses. What clients actually want, then we can provide them with that.
This is an expression in my old days where it was like, clients get what they deserve. And when you say that, clients get the agencies that they believe fits their culture best, do you think sometimes that's wrong?
No, yes and no.
Yeah.
I think I think it depends on the client, as in the CMO, in which direction they want to take their brand in a particular country or in region.
Yeah.
And so that's why there are so many pitches going on.
Yeah.
So that different agencies can actually show their culture and show their creative work.
I would expect, particularly in today's kind of day and age where most everything's moving digital, and thereby moving much more kind of in a technical capacity, that there's just not enough talent. Where do you go and how do you find them and retain them, and are they there for a week, a day, a month, till the next offer arrives, etc.? What's your experience in that?
Well, I think it's unsophisticated to sort of put it all under one wrap of Asia. Every market has their own sort of issues to deal with.
Yeah.
An example, I suppose, is China, where the creative teams are quite junior, and because it's such a new business. So what we've tried to do, WPP have opened a school, which is the School of Marketing Communications, and we've partnered with a university to try and get our junior graduates to sort of have access to our senior management at the university level, and they then go for internships, and if they are successful, then we would hire them. You know, the Chinese graduate is a very different breed to because of the education system, and there's a lot of pressure, I think, on Chinese graduates in particular, because they get a lot of influence from their families to try and job hop as much as possible. So if we get them
to chase money or responsibility, titles,
well, pretty
all of
much
them?
both.
Yeah.
I think because of that, there is a lot of churn. And, you know, I've been in situations where staff that have had 2 or 3 years experience have just decided to leave, and there's nothing wrong with them for staying, but they just decided to leave. Yeah. So in that context, what we're trying to do is train them more about what it is to be in a career, to have a career with a particular company, and the best way of doing it is at the very graduate, very early stages.